Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, distinguished guests, and folks of all stripes, put your hands together for the Space Cadet Sports Podcast. Houston, we have Paul Salazar Jr.
Welcome back to the Space Cadet Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Salazar Jr., coming to you after a 10th inning walk-off win for the Houston Astros. Your Houston Astros beat the Cleveland Guardians at home 9-10. Didn't want to bury the lead, just wanted to get that out there. We are the Space Cadet Sports Podcast. You can find us at Space Cadet Sports on TikTok and Instagram, or you can find the Substack at spacecadetsports.substack.com. I'm your host, Paul Salazar Jr. I'm very excited after this game. Carla and I have both had a good time watching this game. I'm your host. Carla is your co-host, Carla the dog. I'm at Paul Salazar Jr. on social media. You can find dog pictures from her at at good.dog.carla. Someone is doing wheelies out here in the street here in studio, or outside of studio, I should say, here in LA. I guess that's West Coast Astros fan there. I'm not sure. But yeah, the Astros did beat the Guardians 10-9 at home. Let's go ahead and get to it. I guess the big thing today is that Jose Abreu did get optioned down to the minor leagues, but we also did get a win. So if you haven't read it, there is a little blurb on the Substack about Jose Abreu. We will get to Jose Abreu a little later in the podcast. But for right now, let's kind of get a wrap on this game here. So yeah, tonight in Minute Maid Park, we had Hunter Brown go up to pitch. He had a bit of a rough first inning. Steven Kwan got a single off of him to start the game. Then Andres Jimenez also got a single. And we got one fly out from Jose Ramirez, but Josh Naylor really made us pay with his seventh home run on the season on a fly ball to left field. Obviously, that put the Cleveland Guardians up 3-0 at that point in the first inning. I was nervous. Definitely not what you want to see after a bounce-back series, after the Astros make some big moves, take some big swings here to get the personnel kind of fixed on some personnel here that can bring a bigger bat or bring some energy to the club. You know, to start off in a hole already down 3-0 was disappointing. I definitely said, I believe in a past blog or past podcast, that, you know, they're not obviously the best team from behind so far this season. They haven't been the best team in a lot of situations, but you were hoping that they could play with the lead and maintain the lead into the late innings. But they started off in a hole, down 3-0. You know, in the bottom of the first, the Astros really didn't do too much with their first three hitters. The lineup today for Joe Espada, definitely is going to be different than what you would expect. We had Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Tucker, Pena, then Diaz, and then the newcomer, Joey Loperfido, starting at left field, John Singelton starting at first, and Jake the Rake Myers is your 9-hole hitter. Obviously when I was saying that Loperfido was going to get a lot more looks at first base, that was assuming that he was taking the place of John Singleton or Greg Kessinger. Taking Jose Abreu off the Major League roster was not something I anticipated whatsoever. I thought, a DFA wasn't going to happen, but I did not think a minor league option was even on the table. It's very big of Jose Abreu to go down to the minor leagues, but, that opens up a spot for Singleton to get more reps at first base, for Loperfido to spell him at first base, and for some potential Loperfido playing in the outfield because of what a natural outfielder he is. So yeah, in the top of the first, the Astros weren't able to do too much there. In the top of the second, you had a fly out, ground out. Brown kind of started to settle in. He had a 1-2-3 second inning, and in the third, the Astros in the bottom of the third really didn't do too much. Kyle Tucker did get a walk, turned into a double play, and then a fly out by Yanner. So far in the beginning of the game, going into the top of the third, there really hasn't been too much going on. there was an amazing double play in the top of the third. Andres Jimenez was called out on strikes, and Stephen Kwan was caught stealing. Catcher Yana Diaz, got the caught stealing for once this season. It's definitely been a struggle for him. I think his pop time is a little. Is averaging a little higher than it was last season. That could easily be chalked up to just extra play, extra wear and tear on the knees. This could be something that does turn around for Yaner Diaz. He is going to be able to throw some guys out. It just has been a tough go for him so far this season. It was good to see him get that throw out on the double play. Really helped Hunter Brown out when he needed the outs. Going to the bottom of the third, Joey Loperfido started up. In the bottom of the third, we were really excited to see him. Unfortunately, he just got a fly out this time up to bat. John Singleton got a walk. After Singleton, the 9-hole hitter, Jake Myers, came up, he got a strikeout. And then Jose Altuve, in the third inning, we got the lineup card to turn over there. Jose Altuve got a single. And then we have Alex Bregman that came up with the Astros down 3-0 in the bottom of the third. Bregman has had a tough go for it this season. There's been a lot written the last couple days about his lack of home runs this season, his lack of power. He definitely answered that today, hitting his first home run on a fly ball to left center field, scoring John Singleton and Jose Altuve, tying the game at 3-0 in the third. It was definitely what you want to see from Alex Bregman. We are very happy to see it. Very happy to see him get his first home run. We need offensive production. Being down in the game, was definitely not what we wanted to see. We needed timely hitting with guys in scoring position, and that's what Alex Bregman brought us. It's really good to see. Top of the fourth, once again, Hunter Brown gets another 1-2-3 inning, leading us to the bottom of the fourth. In the bottom of the fourth, Kyle Tucker led off with getting a leadoff single. And then Jeremy Pena was hit by a pitch, which gave us two guys on base. There was a bit of an injury delay. They were checking to see if Jeremy Pena, got hit too hard on his finger there. Everything looked all right. It looked like one of those hits that might, swell or there could be some injury there. Luckily, it looked like JP3 was more than fine. After we come back from that injury delay, Yaner Diaz hits a single on a ground ball. We're happy to have more people on base. Joey Loperfido steps up. Big moment for the team. Bases loaded. Tie game. Joey Loperfido at this point, I believe the broadcast team we had the broadcast team with the Loperfidos in the stands, that they were talking, very excited, very nervous for Joe Lowe there. Joe Lowe had a good moment. He got a good long line drive to center field. He was able to knock in 2 runs because Jeremy Pena had heads-up base running. The Astros were up 5-3. It was really good to see. It was a huge breath of fresh air for Astros fans, especially for me, after you see the organization make a big roster change, like sending a vet, a former MVP like Jose Abreu down to the minor leagues. Yes, we do want him to work on that swing. Yes, we cannot afford to have him at the major league level, not executing the way he has been. But also, we wanted to see some production out of these guys. To send Jose Abreu down and still not have production would have been a tough look. So it was good to see that. And just as I was thinking that, John Singleton stepped up and he hit his first home run of the season. He hit a no-doubter deep to right field in the second deck there, in the double-decker seats. And double-decker seats is what I'm trying to say, trying to stumble out of my mouth. Definitely here was very, very excited to see. He took the Astros up 8-0. John Singleton does have that pop. He does have that slugging power. There has been other hits this season that looked like they was just so close to being a home run. He just got under it a little bit, getting it to the warning track, or a couple times he just, was a little early, sending it out of bounds. John Singleton does have pop. He does have power. Something I really like about John Singleton, and I was noticing this game, especially in this at-bat here, he really worked the count. He was not swinging at these really, really close pitches that could be called for a strike or could be called for a ball. Some of them were just off the plate. Not that they were strikes, but just that with the way that people are officiate, it could be an either way ball. especially when they're kind of missing calls. So to see him just have the confidence to not swing at balls that he can't do anything with and just wait for his pitch was great. John Singleton, he does have a good eye. I'm thinking right now, and at this point of the season, this young season, I will say he has the second best eye on the team. Now, I wouldn't say overall his whole career, maybe that's the case, but right now, the way they're playing, I really trust John Singleton's eye at the plate. It was really good to see him wait for a pitch and then absolutely demolish one. We're hoping to see more of that. I do want Jose Abreu to get better. I do want Jose Abreu to bring his game back up to the major league level. But until that time, we are still rooting for John Singleton and Joey Loperfido to do good work in his stead. After Singleton hit that home run, it was a quiet rest of the inning. The top of the fifth was also quiet for Hunter Brown. He got a 1-2-3 strikeout inning. It's good to see that for Hunter Brown. It seemed like he was getting better, just getting better and better as the innings were going on there. In the top of the fifth, the Guardians took out Carlos Carrasco, brought in Cade Smith, came in and struck out Yordan Alvarez. It was a tough game for Yordan Alvarez, who was the only player on the roster this game that did not get a hit. Kyle Tucker hit a single afterwards. Then Jeremy Pena hit a single right after that. Unfortunately, the Astros were not able to do anything in the bottom of the fifth with those couple of base runners. The top of the sixth, I'm actually at this point thinking, hey, could this be a quality start for Hunter Brown? The Astros are leaving him in. Perhaps this is a moment that Hunter really turn the season around here, gets a quality start. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Stephen Kwan started off the sixth with a triple. Just really good hit, went to center field, kind of died out there by the warning track. It was a perfect ball to take for a triple. And right after that, Andres Jimenez hit a home run to right center field, closing the gap on the Astros 5-8. So it's like, okay, well, maybe we're not getting a quality start, but if we could just get Hunter Brown to kind of focus up, not get the quality start stat, but at least feel like he's gaining momentum and get a quality start. And that is what he did. He struck out Jose Ramirez, which was a huge out. Josh Naylor came up. He didn't strike out Naylor. He did let Naylor up on a walk. At that moment, I was happy with that. I thought, okay, Naylor is a very dangerous hitter. At least he didn't give up a hit or a home run here. At that point in the fifth, or in the sixth, I should say, the sixth inning here, Joe Espada had seen enough. He took Hunter Brown out and put in Rafael Montero. At that point, Montero gets a force out on a really heads-up play by Jeremy Pena. Will Brennan grounded out to Alex Bregman. Bregman kind of flipped it to Pena, from his glove to Pena. Pena caught it barehanded, put it in his glove, and dove to second base because the throw took him off base a little bit, and he got the force out at second. After that, there was a hit by pitch on Tyler Freeman, which definitely is a little controversial. It looks like perhaps it was not a hit by pitch. The Astros didn't really challenge. It didn't look like maybe it was challengeable. Either way you cut it, it was a hit by pitch. He got on base. The next batter comes up. Esteban Florial homers on his third home run to right field. It was not the greatest feeling in the world right now. Obviously, it kind of was going by the game script that Joe Espada wants. We got as much as we could out of Hunter Brown. He took us into the sixth inning. In the sixth inning, you go to your sixth inning guy, Rafael Montero. Montero doesn't do that bad of a job. However, just bad luck and getting, whether it's a hit by pitch because he hit the guy or a hit by pitch because of a bad call, not having the best luck, not having the best execution, leading to a home run, leading to the Cleveland Guardians tying 8-8. Really not what I was hoping for, not what I was wanting. The sixth inning, the Guardians changed pitchers. However, the Astros really couldn't do too much with that. They did get Jake Myers on base. And then when Yordan Alvarez was up, they replaced the pitcher, Tim Herron. Tim Herron replaced Scott Barlow at that point and struck out Yordan Alvarez. Like I said, it was a tough game for Alvarez. In the top of the seventh, they brought in Brian Abreu. So once again, kind of working the game script the way we kind of have it drawn up. However, not getting the best results. The first pitcher the first batter was walked. Nine hole hitter Brian Rocchio. Then Stephen Kwan came up and was hit by a pitch. Once again, this is another, while the other pitch was kind of arguable that it maybe hit the bat, we weren't sure. This one, it looked to me like Stephen Kwan swung the bat and then got hit by a slider that ran in on his heels. They said it wasn't a swing. Obviously, that's just frustrating. If you swing, you can't. It is a strike, not a walk. But that just is what it is at that point. I was kind of furious at the officiating, furious at the Astros for not putting themselves in better situations. It was a tough time here for the Space Cadet, I can tell you that. Then Andres Jimenez came in, had a fly out. I was really nervous. He didn't hit another home run. But then Jose Ramirez came on and took a walk. So Josh Naylor is up with the bases loaded. This is a guy that could absolutely kill anyone right now. He's having a hot start to the season, and Abreu struck him out. A big strikeout against Naylor. Exactly what you want to see in this situation. It was absolutely a scary situation for us. And then Will Brennan came in and struck out as well. So, definitely two big strikeouts from Abreu there. While it wasn't the best results, you do like to see that he kind of focused up, settled in, and got the big strikeouts when we needed them. In the top of the seventh, unfortunately, the Astros were not able to do very much again. Kyle Tucker drew a walk, but that's kind of it. The bottom of the seventh, I should say. In the top of the eighth, we have another pitching change. The Astros are going with their game script, going with Ryan Presley. Ryan Presley came in, got a ground out, gave up a walk, got a strikeout, and then got another fly out. So the walk was kind of rough to see. You wanted to see Presley kind of turn it around, but having that strikeout and getting out of the inning without too much traffic on the base pads, exactly what you want to see. It seems like Ryan Presley is starting to settle into this role and starting to give great performances that we know he can give. I don't think that he is going to have too much trouble adjusting to this role. I think it was just some bad luck, and him just not actually executing on some pitches earlier in the season. Then in the bottom of the eighth, it was another quiet inning for the Houston Astros. Altuve did get a double in the inning, but we weren't able to make anything out of it. In the top of the ninth, we had Hader come in. Hader did a great job this game. In the top of the ninth, I should say, it was a bit of a rough look. He walked Stephen Kwan. Then Andres Jimenez gave a weird bunt pop out. The bunt pop out was really needed. It was great. I mean, you saw that guy hit a home run earlier. It's the ninth inning. Late innings haven't been great for us. It's what you want to see. Then Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor come up. Definitely not who you want to see in the situation. But Hader struck them both out. So once again, some huge strikeouts from Astros relievers. The top of the ninth is over. We're going to the bottom of the ninth, hoping that the Astros can put this game away and get the win for the Houston fans there in Minute Maid Park. However, once again, the ninth was another quiet inning. Emmanuel Clase was out there pitching phenomenally, pitching 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, doing great work. Which brings us to the 10th. Now, when we got to the 10th, I was really nervous. I was like, okay, who's Espada going to pitch here? He's used the Magic Man in the past. He's used Sean Dubin in the past. I'm kind of, trying to think which pitcher is he going to use. And Espada uses, I don't know. Let me see if I could get this guy's name right. His name is Josh Hader. So yeah, he went with Josh Hader for 2 innings in a row. That was something that Josh Hader said that he did not want to do in his past with former teams. But I think because of the situation, because he hasn't been used too frequently, because he hasn't been used in these highly stressful situations and his pitch count wasn't too high, I think everybody was okay with him going back out for a second inning. I don't think that we should rely on Hader for too many 2-inning situations like this. But if this is the right environment and the right kind of rest for him to do it, it was really good to see that he is open to this. people have said that this team doesn't respect Joe Espada or are not playing for Joe Espada, and that just does not seem like the narrative to me. It seems like this team is more than happy to try different things for Joe Espada, whether that's Jose Abreu going to the minor leagues or Josh Hader pitching a second inning. In the top of the 10th, Josh Hader got 2 strikeouts. He struck out Ramon Laureano. He struck out Tyler Freeman. They then had a pitch hitter of David Fry for Esteban Florial, who did hit a double. So that spelled trouble. That Fry hit this little like a little kind of long blooper that fell right into the left field line, scored the inherited runner. The Astros are down 9-8. They also got another pinch hitter, Gabriel Arias, for Bo Naylor, who did get a ground out to end the inning. So now we're in the middle of the 10th. I'm really bumming because it's like, okay, they did really play a good game. Espada seemed to manage a good game. If this is just another game where we don't have enough offense to win, I'm going to be so miserable. But in the 10th, we have Joey Loperfido come up, and I was thinking, this is going to be good. Well, actually, I should say that Mauricio Dubon was the first substitution. Mauricio Dubon was put at second base for Yainer Diaz. Joey Loperfido came up to the plate, and I'm like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the first home run for Joey Loperfido. He could win this game walk-off style. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards for Joe Lowe today. He did strike out. Then John Singleton came up, and I was like, okay, maybe Singleton's gonna be the hero, play hero again. Unfortunately, John Singleton did ground out. Jake Myers was set to hit as the 9-hole hitter. However, Joe Espada brought in his pinch hitter, Victor Caratini. Victor Caratini came in up to the plate, pinch hitting like he's done a couple times already this season. He's had good results. He hit a home run, his second home run on a line drive to right center field. Mauricio Dubon scores. Victor Caratini walks it off, wins the game for the Astros at home, 10-9. Folks, it was obviously a great game. The top performer by MLB is John Singleton with his 1-for-4 home and a home run, a walk, and 3 RBIs. Obviously, the walk-off champ is going to be Caratini. You got to give your props to Joe Espada for managing the game, for making the right calls, getting Hader to pitch the second inning. It was his second inning of relief, I should say, the 10th inning. Caratini having the focus to just get the pitch that he needed to do to drive it and to get some elevation, just enough elevation to get it out of the park. It was a great game. Honestly, you look at the box score, you look at the lines, you're really happy to see Joey Loperfido. He goes 1-for-5. With 2 RBIs. He did get 2 strikeouts, but that's very promising to see. Singleton, his line that I just mentioned, he had a walk and 0 strikeouts. To see that being the potential future for the Astros first base for perhaps the next month, where it doesn't look like we're going to be struggling for slugging if these guys can just get some extra base hits and play within their game. They can buy enough time for Jose Abreu to get better, or perhaps enough time for them to show that they deserve to be in a platoon with Jose Abreu. Obviously, on the pitching side, you look at Hunter Brown's final stat line. He pitched 5.1 innings, or 5 1/3 innings, I should say. He got 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and gave up 2 home runs. And it's kind of crazy that he has this kind of a game, and it's like almost a huge improvement. But that is where we are. Those huge strikeouts. While that big strikeout number, while the earned runs were a little high, he did go deep into the game. He did give length, which is what we wanted. He did give us enough to win the game. Hader did end up picking up the W. He did win the game. Montero did pick up a blown save. Montero ended up going 2/3 of an inning with 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout and a home run, which has elevated his stats that have looked good so far this season, whereas Abreu and Presley and Hader are starting to lower those numbers, whereas Brian Abreu picked up 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. His ERA is at 4.02, and Hader did pick up 4 strikeouts in this game, which is a huge thing. So you're looking at that. We have a lot of stuff to build on. We have JV coming up. We have a Spencer Arrighetti game coming up, and we have the potential for Christian Javier to return to the team in the Seattle Mariners series. Sorry, there's coyotes howling in the background. I was worried it was Carla. I was like, what is Carla doing outside? No, they're coyotes howling in the background. So that's a kind of a good time to kind of start wrapping things up here, folks. So yeah, I did say that I was going to mention really quickly, while we are very excited about this win for the Houston Astros, and we're looking to take the series from the Cleveland Guardians. All we need is one more win to take the series, folks. We got a JV game coming up. We have to be optimistic. We're very excited about that and where the Astros are trending going forward. We do want to very briefly talk about Jose Abreu, because I do think it is a huge thing. I did not expect this to happen. Obviously, when I was doing my podcast and when I was writing about this in the past, I did not think that sending Abreu down to the minors to work on his swing was even on the table. But I think it tells you a little something to the character of Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu is somebody that loves the game of baseball. He's somebody that wants to win. He doesn't want to just play on any team. He wants to be a Houston Astro, folks. So this guy is somebody you should cheer for. He's somebody we should be rooting for, somebody we should be rooting that he can figure it out while he's in the minors. Maybe he just needs a little bit of time there to work on that swing, to get some consistent reps, and to get that confidence back up. He can return to the major league squad, even if he's just a part-time first baseman, and really, kind of work his way back into the swing of things. That is the ideal path I see for him. In the meantime, having John Singelton and Joey Loperfido on the major league roster looks like it will provide us with enough slugging and enough of a threat to help us win some games. But that's still to be seen. We still want to make sure that Loperfido lowers that strikeout rate. We want to make sure that that Singleton is able to get some timely hits. Tonight the Astros did pretty good with runners in scoring position. Let me just look up. Let me look up those stats real quick. Yeah, with runners in scoring position, they went 5 for 11. They only left 7 men on base. So while we see the big heart of Jose Abreu, and we see that he wants to be a Houston Astro, we also are looking towards how players tend to age. The reality of the situation is that the Astros do need to start figuring out a long-term first base solution, whether that is Joey Loperfido or otherwise. Because I do see Jose Abreu coming back to the majors. I do see him contributing. I do see him, even if it's later in the season, like Yuli Gurriel or himself last year. He can contribute when the moments get big and you need somebody that has been in that moment before. We need somebody like Abreu. So I'm not saying sell him down a river and rejoice because we have Loperfido now. Like, we need contributions for everybody on this roster in order for this team to succeed. So even if that's just to have them succeed until the trade deadline, I'm not trying to be cruel or callous towards any players. I'd love for all of them to be on the Astros roster all season. But if we need to make some moves, we do need some players to contribute so they get some heat behind them in trade talks. And now that Loperfido is up and Abreu is down, it does kind of change one thing, and I did mention it in the previous podcast, is that there is going to be a lot of mouths to feed in the outfield right now. And this can spell trouble for Myers or for McCormick. I think Dubon, with his super utility role and the stats that he's put up this season, doesn't have to worry that much. But it does put a little extra pressure on the younger fielders that the Astros have, because if they're not slugging too well, if Chas McCormick is striking out, if Jake Myers is not able to get on base, they could see their spot being lost to Loperfido a couple more times in the week or a couple more times in a series just because they're not performing. So and it is kind of a challenge to balance that many baby birds to feed. So this will be a little more challenging for Espada, and it does open himself up to more criticism that he has this many options in the outfield. So we will see how that plays out. We will see how the Jose Abreu minor league assignment plays out. If you're on Sugarland, go to Sugarland and root for Jose Abreu, the Space Cowboy Jose Abreu. Sometimes in life we all have steps back. I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing for Abreu, for his career. I don't think he wants to play on some losing squad. He wants to compete. I think where he's at. The Astros cannot cover his unfortunately his liability of a bat at this moment, and he can go down to the minor league level and work on it on an everyday basis and get better and not lose playing time and still feel like he can get back into the swing of things and kind of have an extended spring training until he gets right. We're rooting for Abreu here. We're hoping he comes back. We're rooting for Loperfido. We're rooting for John Singelton. We're rooting for everybody that has Houston Astros across their chest. Thank you so much for listening to the Space Cadet Sports Podcast. That's going to be it for tonight, this game recap. Thank you so much for listening. If you have a chance, check out the Substack at spacecadetsports.substack.com, where you can be a subscriber and get every podcast, every meme, every article, every little silly thing that is put out there on the blog straight to your inbox. Or you could sign up for the Space Cadet, the Substack app, and that essentially will work as your Space Cadet app. It will send you notifications for every post instead of an email, and you can just read it on there for easier access. If you would be so kind as to consider supporting the podcast financially, you can become a financial supporter because we are supported by viewers and listeners like you. We would really much appreciate that. This is a passion project, but in order to dedicate this much time to it and resources and equipment, any kind of financial help is greatly appreciated, and we thank you for that. Shout out to Uncle Joey, Theo Joey. We appreciate you helping fund the podcast. Thank you so much for listening, folks. You can find me on social media at Paul Salazar Jr. Or if you're just looking for Carla and cute dog pictures, you can find her at good.dog.carla. Check out the website Paul Salazar Jr., or I should say paulsalazarjr.com, where you can find more stuff from me, not just Space Cadet Sports. Thank you so much, folks. Keep your head up, and vamos Astros.